10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night, Wrestling Wednesday, hashtag. On Twitter, it is the To Be Determined Show right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. I'm the Orc of Ominous, the Architect of Inlet, the Wicked Nemesis, and we have a complete roundtable tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The crowd's all here, the gang's back. And just because it's a gang doesn't mean that there's a gangbang involved. Ladies and gentlemen, the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane.
How you doing?
How much?
No, well, actually, I'm just having too much fun with the pot roast tonight. They said I could put some beer in there, and I'm really good.
How much?
A keg.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Was that it, really? Are you fucking kidding me?
I had all day to come up with a promo, and that's the best I could come up with. Leave me alone.
From across the pond, ladies and gentlemen, you hear him right there with his southern twang. The one, the only, Mad Dog Matt Denton. Matt, how you doing tonight, man?
Feel the pot roast!
Now that was funny.
And the internet asks, "Hi, could you bring him on for a tour?" So tonight, God have mercy on our soul, for the full 2 hours. Yes, his segment will be up, ladies and gentlemen. Corey, Smart Rage, everyone.
It's good to be here. Could I just start eating some of my crow now and just eat some of it throughout the 2 hours of the show?
Corey, how do you pronounce your last name?
It's a Smart Rage. It's Corey Smart Rage.
Nacho Champkin.
Yes, that's
the Champkin.
Yes.
The Champkin? Okay. I can never pronounce it. I do apologize. And we have her back. Holy shit. Can we get some music going? Can we get some or something like some
wait,
music?
hold on. I have to do this. Give me 1 second. I'm going into production mode.
And I understand that completely. We're going to roll out the red carpet for this woman.
Let's see if I get it right the first time.
The Bret Hart of the To Be Determined show.
The bright spot, funny. Yes. Mother Goose, don't tell me it's not going to work. Go ahead and do it, Wick. If the music hits, it hits.
Ladies and gentlemen, former NWA Women's World Champion, third longest reigning championship of all time ever in all of the National Wrestling Alliance. It is the one, the only Renadell Pile Driver. Oh, there it is.
Keep it going.
Now we're going to get flagged for sure, because that 1 second boom of that American Woman song is just what sets it off. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Tasha effing Simone. Sis, how you doing tonight?
I am doing absolutely wonderful, and for anybody who's wondering what the hell's going on, all you need to know is always bet on motherfucking red.
Lord, I'll always bet on black, but okay.
It's time to bet on red.
I bet on green, by the way.
I bet on Prism.
Yeah.
I thought Casey Carlisle was coming on with us tonight.
Oh, shit.
Bring that fat bitch on.
Now, we're going to
jump right the fat bitch is on. Smart Rage is here.
Hold on. Listen, guys, listen. We're going to start off on a high note. Chris Masters, I know you saw this, Corey. I know you saw this, Smart Rage. I don't know if you guys got to see this. It happened yesterday. Chris Masters, it appears that one of his mom's neighbors went batshit crazy and locked and barricaded himself in Chris Masters' mom's home. Chris Masters gets there, tries to talk to the guy. The guy is obviously lost his marbles and says that if the cops show up, he's going to set fire to the house. Cops show up, he sets fire to the house. Now, what do you do? Now, if you're Chris Masters, who has been clean for the last 3 years, that we know, but he has, and he's been open about his steroid abuse. Not use, but abuse. This man picks up an entire tree, throws it through the window, and pulls his mom out of an inferno, is what the fireman said. In the house, of course, the house regrettably is gone, but Chris Masters saved the life of his mom. The gentleman that set the fire has been apprehended. Chris Masters said that he got a piece of him, which God forbid. I mean, let's hope he didn't kill him, because we do want the guy to do some jail time. But if he beat the shit out of him, Fingers crossed. I'm just saying. But I mean, guys, I mean, we've heard about what happened several times. Mike Awesome, seeing the family that was under an 18-wheeler and actually lifting up the 18-wheeler and blowing his knees out before one of the big FMW pay-per-views they had at the time back in the day. This happens. What do you guys think about this? We'll go real quick, Tasha.
Well, before you even stop on that, years ago, and this is what really actually started hurting kayfabe a lot, but it just happened. Jim Duggan and Rob Ricksteiner, that people know as Rick Steiner, traveling together for Bill Watts. Family was trapped in a car that had flipped, and they ripped the doors off of the car to get the family out down in Louisiana years ago.
Were they feuding at the time? Is this when Duggan was
a heel?
Okay.
They were.
Okay. See, now, and I mean, you can't do anything about that. We have heard several stories back in the day through the NWA of such things happening, and people swearing that wrestlers is saying, but it not being in the newspapers not to break kayfabe. Matt, your thoughts on this?
You know what? It's a great thing that Chris Masters got on the scene, or else we'd be reporting a different story, completely different.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially with news from the American independent scene that's already put a dampener on things. That would have just put it over the top, really. But Jesus, that seems to be like that kind of incredible Hulk strength when he realizes that his mother is in grave peril. So he just rips a fucking tree out. He's just like, fuck it, let's just rip a tree out and throw it through a fucking window.
And I mean, by the police report, it said that he uprooted an entire tree and hurled it through the window that his mom was hiding out in, is what the police report says. Corey, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, you guys said it was fantastic. Kudos to Chris Masters, right place, right time.
Fast City Lane.
Echoing the sentiment of the previous two.
This is just, I mean, crazy. I'm glad that TMZ has reported this with all the bad stuff going on. Matt kind of hinted at something that's going on right here and right around where I know, and somebody that I personally know. The gentleman goes as J.C. Kent. He also, for a long time, went as 13 out of Pro South Wrestling, Empire Wrestling, all over the Southeast. Corey, you said you've actually seen him work. Now, I know this guy. And I can't believe this happened, but we're going to report it because it's happened, and it's on the record. 28-year-old man who uses the name J.C. Kent as a wrestler at Empire Pro Wrestling was charged with aggravated statutory rape, sexual exploitation of a minor through electronic means, and providing obscene materials to a minor in Hamilton County. Of course, this is in Chattanooga, Tennessee. March 13th, the sheriff's office detective met with a young woman who accused Joshua Francis Carter of digitally penetrating her and encouraging her to send nude photos of herself from her home. Carter asked her to send photos through an application on her cell phone and told her the application was made for sexting, according to the sheriff's report. Carter received pictures of the minor and responded to one of the images by saying, "I'm touching myself to that last one." After receiving several images, he sent her a digital image of his penis. This is a guy that, I mean,
disturbing.
The headline. Yeah, I mean, this is something that hits kind of close to home, but hey, we've heard worse. Tasha, your thoughts on this? Tasha, you know this. You know we've all been open about a certain legend that did worse than this, that actually kind of got away with it. It's kayfabe. It's been kayfabe for a long time. Tosh, your thoughts?
I don't normally break kayfabe. Everybody knows that. I have said very bluntly, I have openly said that I feel Jerry Lawler's a pedophile. I've said that a million times. Unfortunately, Jerry Lawler is not the only professional wrestler who has a penchant for underage girls. There is another superstar, a little superstar, that his ex-wife actually used to brag about losing her virginity to him when she was 14 years old. This is unfortunately something that happens often in professional wrestling. And those of us who are parents, who actually love our children, our sons and our daughters, this is something that I've said, it goes right along with us taking care of the locker room. sometimes we have to be the bigger person and step up and say, you know what, douchebag, you're wrong. You're wrong. Because I have a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You have a daughter. You have daughters.
I have two. Yeah.
You know, you have. What would you do if that were your daughter? Because I can tell you what I would do if it were mine. I have a 9mm with self-exploding bullets, and I would only use one.
Eddie, your thoughts?
You know, there's something that I've lived by ever since I turned 19, which was legal drinking age in my state at the time that I became legal. There's one phrase that you will never hear me use, or never hear used in the same sentence as my name, and that's contributing to the delinquency of a minor. I know I'm referring to alcohol on that particular one, but that applies to everything. I have a standing rule that I've had ever since I was 21, and that's she's got to be old enough to legally drink before I drive home. And if you different strokes for different folks, but guys, come on, there's a damn limit to all of this crap. I mean, if you cannot control yourself, you need help. Plain and freaking simple. If it's that big a temptation, go to the local nudie bar, because you'll find a cute girl over the age of 21 who knows how to rock the pigtails and a plaid skirt and the schoolgirl look, and guess what? You can turn around and give her money and buy her a drink, and it's perfectly legal. And you're not, unless you're like the mayor of your city or a city council or Southern Baptist convention head, if you get caught, it's no big deal. You're in the nudie bar. Everybody knows where you are there. Taking this crap and taking it onto the streets into real life, so to speak, which half the time the nudie bar is closer to real life than this fantasy called reality, plain and simple, there's got to be a limit. And you're right, Tosh. We have got to find a way. If we see this going on, I'm sorry. The brotherhood and the sisterhood and the family of pro wrestling is one thing, but we've got to make sure that the family members aren't pushing the limits, going too far, and making the rest of us look bad.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody's up in arms about all of the pedophilia and the molestation in the Catholic Church. Are they right to complain about it? Yes. Does the Catholic Church need to be called upon the carpet to answer to it? Yes. So if the church should answer to it. My God, the almighty Catholic Church, the Pope. Who the hell are we wrestlers to say that we're above that?
Matt, your thoughts on this?
Two things. One, it smells an awful like the Jimmy Savile scandal over here in the UK. All of the smoke and mirrors, keeping that behind closed doors and shit. Fucking crucify these people, seriously. No, I don't even mean metaphorically crucify them. Legitimately, literally crucify these fuckers. And the second one is lol, I pretend she said 18.
Now the Jimmy Savile. Listen, hold on. The Jimmy Savile story. I don't think a lot of people understand what that is. Seville, I'm sorry. I don't think a lot of people understand about that and how deep that went. And now that is a sick story. Lord have mercy. I know you know a lot about it, and I'm in the world affairs. Now that is still crumbling left and right. I mean, there's people still, being charged with that, and that was a pedophilia ring. He did this for decades.
Decades. And, if convicted or whatever, if found out, it is basically he would be one of the most prolific child sex offenders in history. In history. And people
not
just British
eye
history,
to this.
world history. Now that's fucked up.
Corey, your thoughts on this, man?
It's absolutely disgusting. I've got 7 or 8 nieces. It's another.
You brought one of your nieces this past Saturday to an
right.
event. I mean, around wrestlers.
Right, exactly. And another thing is, it's another black eye for the industry. That gets kicked every single day. It just hurts the business even more.
It is something, like I said, the only reason why it was brought to the attention is because it was brought to my attention right before the show, and I know this guy personally, and it was just something I was like, yeah, this has to be put under a spotlight, a gleaming spotlight. Eddie, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I'm
sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and say this, because remember, folks, it takes two to tango. And if a girl is sending a guy pictures of herself, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, big brother, big sister, whatever, if you catch an underage family member doing this, if you're not, call them the hell out on it. This is something that I'm going to draw heat from. In the majority of what I have seen over the last few years, parents and guardians have forgotten how to be just that. But also, it's like in the state of Alabama, if you get caught publicly administering corporal punishment to your child, DHR can launch the State Department of Human Resources can actually launch an investigation into your household. So because of bureaucratic bullshit, parents and guardians are not allowed to be parents and guardians. I'm 47 years old by the grace of God in heaven above, to whom all things are possible. My parents took me to the woodshed on more than one occasion. I've gotten hit with a belt, I've gotten hit with a paddle, and I've gotten hit with a damn oak tree, much less a switch. And I don't think I've turned out too bad. I haven't committed any of these things you need to do. And it's just, we need to remember to instill the values in our kids, to have respect for them damn selves, to not play along with crap like this. Okay, soapbox done. Bye.
Tasha, last
Well, no, I want to add to that because Eddie hits on something. I have a 16-year-old daughter, so this hits a little closer to home for me than a lot of people. How old was the little girl that's in question here?
It did not say, because she was a minor.
Okay. Here's the thing, and I'm just going to put it on out there. My daughter's father actually encouraged her to flirt with guys in the business. I, as a mother, of course, have huge problems with that. Eddie said something that's very, very correct. Not about so much the family members just stepping up and saying, hey, don't do that if they know. I'm not my children's friend. I am their parent.
Thank you.
They're not always going to like me because I'm not always going to tell them what they want to hear. But we have to take control, not just as professional wrestlers, but the world as a whole. We have to quit worrying about somebody getting mad at us. We have to quit worrying about going with the flow to keep from upsetting somebody. That's what made this country so wonderful at one point. People actually weren't afraid to say, that's wrong and we want to fix it. Now all of these pussy people are like, oh, we can't say that, or, oh, I don't want my kid mad at me, so I better not check their cell phone because they may think I'm intruding on their privacy.
You are, and you should.
I pay for my kids. No, I'm not. They have no privacy in my house. I pay the bills in my house. That means whatever I want to check up on my kids, they're mine.
No, Tosh,
if they don't like it, they can get their asses out and pay their own bills. But parents have got to start standing up and being parents. Now, there is going to be this argument. Oh, she's 13, 14, 15 years old. She knows the difference between right and wrong. Yes, she does. That I agree with. Yes, a 13, 14, 15-year-old little girl knows it's wrong. However, a grown-ass man flirting with that 13, 14, 15-year-old girl damn sure knows it's wrong, and somebody has to be the adult.
Can I just ask you a quick question, because I'm not entirely sure about this. What is the age of consent in America?
There's different ones for different states.
Okay.
Some states it's 16, other ages it's 17, 18, 19, all the way through 21.
Okay.
In Tennessee, it actually depends on the situation.
Yes, I know. Here in Alabama, it's 14. It's 14 in Alabama, Mississippi.
I thought it was
It's
16.
12 in the Vatican. Genuinely, it's
That's
12 in Vatican City.
That's only for the
It's
boys.
14,
here's
it's 14
the
if
thing.
the parents know.
Here's the thing, and this is something that's actually documented. Jerry Lee Lewis, very odd, who doesn't know who he is,
Yeah.
You shake my
he actually took his wife Myra across state lines from Tennessee
Yep.
into Alabama. Was it Alabama or Arkansas? I think
It was Alabama.
Arkansas.
It's Alabama.
No, it was
So
Alabama
that
barrier.
he could get married to her at 14 because that was not the age of consent in the state of Tennessee. In the state of Tennessee, depending on the age difference of the male and the female, you may have a 16-year-old in your car with her shoes off, and if an officer wants to be a dick, just because her shoes are off, just because an article of her clothing is off, that's statutory rape.
I believe it's that in Alabama too.
Yep.
If a woman's riding around with any shoes, I do believe so. That's what my mom used to always tell me. So I just went with it. They have weird laws like that. If you spit on the sidewalk in Alabama, it's supposed to be like a $250 fine.
Oh,
So-
don't thump a cigarette in Hoover. Don't thump a cigarette out the window in Hoover. That's 168. A friend of mine found that out firsthand in the rain, even.
Crazy laws, but yet you have people doing this. And then I saw in Pennsylvania where the lady had cut the spines of 9 babies, some literally the very latest term abortions you could have. Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm not going to get started. Anyways, we're scheduled to be joined at 9:30.
Sorry, just quickly, there's a computer hacker who's facing more jail time than the what was it? The fucking rape case that was settled this week.
Steubenville.
Yeah. The Steubenville
Gary
rapists
McKinnon?
are gonna get less time than a fucking computer hacker.
Are you
Now
talking
figure
about Gary
that
McKinnon?
out.
Gary McKinnon?
See,
Gary McKinnon?
No, I think it's
I'm
like
very
Aaron
upset
Schwartz or
about that
something.
rape case, though. I'm very upset about that rape case.
Oh yeah.
Where is
I'm
the
upset too,
accountability
'cause
of all of the parents involved?
I'm upset at the fucking coverage by CNN who are like, all these promising young careers have been ruined by this case. No, their fucking decision to rape has ruined it, you fucking retards.
And then social media again. They digitally penetrated her, then put it all over Facebook and on Twitter and laughed about it. So,
Oh, wait a minute. Let me give you this one. The case, I can't remember all the specifics of it. These the 2 minors who were convicted of rape and the digital distribution of the pictures of the girl. The state district attorney is picking it up to take it to a grand jury to have even higher charges brought against these kids. Look, I'm soapboxing again for one more hot second. I know we're near the bottom of the hour break. The fact of the matter is, once again, parents are not being parents in a lot of cases because they're letting their kids get away with this. Kids are getting cell phones for the wrong reasons too damn early in life. I understand if you're a football player and you're going to be practicing late, you're a band member, you're going to be practicing late, cheerleaders practicing late, but that phone should only be used for communication, and the guardians need to put stricter standards in place for those kids, plain and simple. And Tasha, I wasn't arguing.
But until the parents are held accountable for not putting those restrictions on those kids. In my opinion, the parents of that little girl, who was, by the way, across state lines, underage drinking, at an unchaperoned party, or 2 or 3, where is the accountability? That's, to me, that's parental negligence.
You're right. And short ending,
So why are the parents not being held accountable as well? I'm not saying don't punish the kids because, yes, they're accountable, but we still have to remember they are kids. They're close, they're young adults, but they're still kids by the thought process here. The parents should be held accountable too. If the parents were held accountable for being buddies instead of parents, they might start standing up and pulling some switches and belts out again.
Damn right.
we are scheduled to be joined here in about 5 minutes with so fine, too fine, Frankie Valentine, who just had a hell of a match and just had a knife put in his back at Universal Independent Wrestling this past Saturday. Corey, you were there. We're going to talk about that with Frankie and several other things. I saw that Global Championship Wrestling is actually having an event. When is it coming up? Is it this Friday or next Friday?
It is this Friday, March 22nd in Tryon, Georgia. It's going to be a benefit for Tryon City Schools.
And Frankie Valentine is a part of that, so
yes,
we'll talk to him about that as well. And we're going to lighten up the mood. Frankie Valentine is a hell of an interview and a hell of a guy. So, Frankie, for those of you that do not understand country, there will be subtitles when this goes up on Podomatic and on YouTube. We'll have to translate some of this. It's kind of hard to understand. And I can't wait to hear Matt Denton and Frankie go back and forth. This is going to be awesome.
Oh, Jesus. Would it be worse than talking to Smark Rage?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
Oh, God, no. Nothing's worse. And let's talk about, we got just a few minutes before. Corey, you said something about Jake the Snake Roberts. Are you going to save this for your Smark's Rage?
Well, it wasn't all about Jake.
Hypocrite.
It wasn't all about Jake.
Hypocrite.
Okay? It was mainly about Scott Hall. Now, I did have the producer of the Smark's Rage play a clip of Jake the Snake Roberts. And let's just say I fast Eddie Lane my way into a spot Saturday night.
Suck
We'll
it.
get more of that at the top of the hour. You got to stay tuned. You got to stay tuned to hear how I fast Eddie Lane my way into that spot.
That is a teaser. Take fucking note of that. That is a teaser if I've ever heard one. And of course, Tasha, are we gonna have the pleasure of having your segment back tonight? Are we gonna hear some of Tasha Knows Best tonight? No, Tasha has decided to go naked.
Yay!
Probably to go.
Oh, sorry.
And probably to go to the gym. So.
Damn.
Uh-oh. And I see that we have the Georgia Wrestling Report coming up. Is this true?
You're right. In about 90 seconds, we go to the bottom of the hour break. And also, let me go ahead and add at the top of the hour.
Hey.
Yes.
You gotta put some, you're gonna have to put some music on when you announce that one. No. So we'll save that. We'll save that.
Okay.
So, because I want some music. Cause that's funny. What, I just saw what the name of that was. That is great. So Ted Guinness.
There's some Val Venus music in the background.
Oh, yes. Good job.
Let me find my external hard drive. I may have some 70s porn music on there.
But we're about to go ahead and hit our first break. We're scheduled to be joined by So Fine, Too Fine, Frankie Valentine when we come back right here on the To Be Determined show on Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Welcome to the Georgia Wrestling Report. I'm Mark Grayson with GeorgiaWrestlingFans.com and the 5MinuteMark.com. Each week, I'm going to bring you 5 minutes of news and views from the independent professional wrestling scene in the great state of Georgia, along with a healthy dose of shameless self-promotion. A little self-promotion from one of my good friends, Drew Adler, today. Drew was lucky enough, or blessed enough, or has worked hard enough to have a 2-day tryout with the WWE recently. Couldn't be prouder of that young man. I just believe there's all kinds of great things coming. He's got the great size and the natural athletic ability, and boy, I'll tell you what, the fans just go crazy. Kids love him. He's got a great personality, and he's so eager to learn. Drew Adler's one of those young guys to watch in the state of Georgia that you just know big things are going to happen for him. Big things are happening for us in Franklin, Georgia at Classic Pro Wrestling. Check it out at classicprowrestling.net. We had a super show this past Friday night. Introduced Anthony Henry, one of the top young talents in the state of Georgia, to the promotion, to the fans. New tradition, Fred Yehai and Kyle Matthews brought the battle to Hot Commodity, old CB Suave, Tommy Pinarelli, and in the end, it looked like there was no way that Kyle and Fred could lose, but Hot Commodity pulled it out at the end with some questionable tactics, and boy, I just can't wait to see where this feud goes. Along with that, we also had a great main event featuring Heard County Middle School coach Alan Sykes teaming up with Johnny Swinger to take on Brian Alexander and the hit for hire Bobby Moore. Wow. The coach showed that he's got some moves, folks. He took down Bobby Moore with a body slam and a football tackle and made quick work of Brian Alexander, and boy, cleared the ring, and just when you thought things were going to go just the way they should, out comes a roll of duct tape, and Brian Alexander and Bobby Moore begin to tape Coach Sykes down to the turnbuckle and have their way with Swinger's knee, when out of the back comes running in Anthony Henry to make the save. Setting up Anthony Henry and Bobby Moore coming up, Classic Pro Wrestling. That show's not going to happen until April 19th because old Bobby Moore's going to be part of something going on April 5th someplace else, and we can't make it, so we're going to have Anthony Henry taking on CB Suave on April 5th. Chick Donovan's going to take on Brian Alexander. Tommy Pinarelli and Fred Yehai are going to go at it. Going to have the gym class heroes there, much, much more. Make sure you check out classicprowrestling.net. We got some big things going on in Franklin, Georgia, and really would love to see the fans be part of it. This great state of Georgia's got all kinds of great wrestling. Last night I was part of the Universal Independent Wrestling show. biggest show in their history. Diamond Dallas Page, Jake the Snake Roberts made their appearances. Old Jake Snake Roberts was looking great, signing autographs and goofing it up with the fans. I believe he said 127 days, alcohol and drug free. Great job, guys, great job. Diamond Dallas Page had a great motivational speech, left everybody completely empowered, and I believe that there's nothing impossible when you put your mind to it. DDP showed there was nothing impossible at age 57 when he pulled out the old diamond cutter on bad Brad Lynch and epic Grant Mitchell right there in the middle of the ring in front of the fans. It was electric. Not only did they make an appearance, but there was a gigantic card with Awesome TC winning the UIW United States Heavyweight Championship, Johnny Swinger taking out that nasty unlucky charm Chris Knox, Mercenary and Billy Knight went at it, setting up a match for them April 6th at Villa Rica Elementary School. Josh Storm pulled a fast one and turned on Frankie Valentine, one of the least expected things you could ever imagine. This family first feud at UIW is going strong. I'm about to hit that 5-minute mark, folks. More news and views at the5minutemark.com. Thanks for joining me. I'm Mark Grayson, GeorgiaWrestlingFans.com. Take care.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Mark Rage, you fat fuck.
This is the To Be Determined show right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Kind of had a little downtime. We had to share some realism there. So thank you for bringing the spirit back into it, Matt Denton.
You're welcome. I mock because I care. Or I don't care. You pick one.
He's a straight edge crackhead.
Eddie, do you have that music ready? Can we go ahead and talk about this new segment I guess it is a segment coming up at the bottom. Oh. Yeah, ladies, you wanted it, you got it. It's
yeah, baby.
Rubbing Me Raw with Ted Guinness. Yeah.
Wow.
Where Ted brings you everything you want and everything your boyfriend needs. For wrestling, that is. Watch him as he comes and takes off the towel across the West Coast. And then longs and adoos you with his kinematics of professional wrestling.
I don't think Ted was expecting all that.
That got weird very quick.
Whether they're at home or here in Dayton, your girlfriend's watching me and masturbating. Guinness.
Guinness!
Awkward.
That is very awkward. But Corey, we're going to jump right into it about this past Saturday. Everybody wanted to know what happened. I'm going to get your thoughts on this as well. We covered it pretty extensively last week. Universal Independent Wrestling had what they considered their biggest show of the year. And Tasha, I want to get your thoughts on this too, because I thought about you instantly when some of this stuff happened. They brought in Diamond Dallas Page and Jake the Snake Roberts as guests, if you will. They didn't wrestle, so we'll say as guests. Now, Corey, you were very severe about Jake the Snake Roberts, and we played a portion of the video where he was actually panhandling for money. He was asking for money for a surgery. Said it wasn't for drugs. These guys showed up 3 minutes before the event. 7:57 Eastern Standard Time they show up. The event started at 8. There were 375 paid people there, a little more than 400. Of course, there were a lot of wrestlers, quote unquote, there that didn't get booked, that decided they wanted to come sit out in the audience. Now, my problem with this was how some people backstage and some people who were in the business handled Jake and Paige being there.
Hold on a minute. If you're Jake or Paige, don't drink.
Oh, please don't drink. We're Scott Hall.
Paige drinks. Scott or Jake can't drink. They're sober now. Continue.
Allegedly.
Now I want to get a perspective of this because Corey was there for most of this. Corey, tell us the story of how you went from calling Jake out about being a panhandler to doing security for him. Tell us how this transpired.
Well, I Eddie Lane my way into another situation Saturday night.
Hypocrite.
Showed up to the show, see if they needed some help. Figured I'd get there a little early, brought my niece with me, hung out in the parking lot. Show started. They needed an extra body for security. I'm a rather large man. And they asked, the promoter asked if I would mind helping doing security. Absolutely not. Any way I could help out.
Work your way in.
Work my way
over.
Inside. Right, exactly. And Stan Grubb, if you're listening, I'm more inside than you'll ever know. So,
Christ.
I know, right? So, long story short, they asked me to do security, and didn't I save your ass, Wicked Nemesis? Isn't that how? Did that happen? Did Johnny Swinger get you? Or we not going to talk about that?
You don't have to kayfabe it. Swinger put myself and Chris Knox in the sleeper hold and put us both out. And I thought it'd be funny because Corey's fat ass is all I could see in front of me. Corey was standing right there in the entrance. I was like, Corey, get over here. And then I asked Corey to call 911 because I told him I had been still horsed. Like 6 people laughed. One being Larry Goodman. I saw Larry Goodman laugh. So, and Corey laughed. Corey's like, oh man, oh. Corey's like, oh, 5 people got your joke. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. Do you think I panhandled to everybody? I ain't Jake Snake Roberts. But I look over, Corey is working the gimmick table for Jake.
Working it hard.
Sweating, losing weight out there for Jake the Snake Roberts.
To be fair, it doesn't take much for him to sweat.
No. So I went in the back and was helping him get his stuff ready, and you know, he said, "Hey, I want you. You're a big guy. Come on, you're coming with me. We're gonna go sell pictures." So I was like, "Whoa." You know, so I went out there and I helped him sell pictures, DVDs, and you want to know what, guys? I'm eating crow, and Wicked Nemesis said he was going to give me a ton of shit about it. And you know what? Jake the Snake Roberts, I saw firsthand, guys. His shoulder's fucked up. His hand is all calloused, where the ligaments are all hardened in his hand. And the guy's clean and sober. You know, I've been a bondsman for 16 years. I know what somebody that is on drugs looks like. And the guy's clean and sober. I watched him all night, you know, made sure he was fine, and the guy's clean and sober for 170, you know, like 110 days. And I bought a $20 DVD.
Oh, you didn't even compute that shit? Okay.
No, I know. You know?
I mean, you did do a good job moving the line along.
Oh yeah, I did. You know, but the guy was really in a fucked up way. He told me how much money he was spending a day on drugs, and I was shocked that he is not dead. And he's shocked he's not dead for all the years of abuse that he's done to his body, not just wrestling, but with drugs and alcohol. And
just a quick question that that's in joke that only I will get. Did he tell you that you had the third best DT he's ever seen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I got to see Damien.
Oh wow. Wow. No wonder he wanted you to work for him.
Exactly. But you know, the guy, and I straight up asked him, we were outside smoking a cigarette, and I said, if you had to do it all over again, would you do it? And he said he wouldn't change a thing. Because he said, you know, whether you believe in God or not, he said, you know, I shouldn't be here, and there's a reason why I'm here. And, you know, for a guy that was doing $300 a day of crack, to be 57 years old, and to be sober for the first time in 40 years is pretty amazing.
Now, with that being said, Jake comes into the ring, and Jake stays in there for, about 30, 45 minutes, signing autographs. Very extended. People were lined up. People were actually fighting and pushing each other to get in line. And for what it's worth, Corey's ass had some type of fucking shield on, like Paul Blart, like a security badge. And so people instantly thought Corey was the cops. For those that didn't know Corey, I saw a lot of people backstage hide their drugs. So they were fucking putting them aside and shit. Like, shit, some fucking cop here, cop. People were yelling pig. I was like, oh, that's Corey. Corey's not a pig. Corey's just a fat fuck.
Was that before or after some of the people in the business with you were marking out and saying, hey, do you mind if you take a picture with my camera phone?
I'm
not going to drop names because
I'm getting to that.
I'll give you the satisfaction.
Now, what happened is that after Jake come out, after Paige, because, Paige was spending a little bit of time, I had to help him figure out on his Apple computer, his Apple laptop, where his music drive was. So when we got that together, everything was a little calmed down with that. But when he went out there, he went out right before the main event, right before your main event. Okay, now this is considered your top event. Now here we're going to go into a little psychology, everybody. A little psychology real quick. Okay. Now all of this happens. You have 8 matches that are scheduled. There end up being an impromptu match to make 9 matches. Okay, this started at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. Remember that keep a mental timeline. 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. Before the main event, there's an intermission. During the intermission, Diamond Dallas Page comes. Tasha, we can hear you.
Yes.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
It's okay.
Can you mute so I can tell my story, please? Listen, I want to know your thoughts about this afterwards. So listen to this. This motherfucker goes in and talks for 45 minutes about how yoga changed his life, how yoga saved his life. 45 minutes before a main event. Literally, the main event gets in the fucking ring at 11:50 Eastern Standard Time. 3 hours and 50 minutes after the event starts, their main event gets into the ring. Their main event is a 6-person, because Pandora's on one team, the Empire team, and of course Nina Monet is on the UIW side of the team. 6-person street fight. Now this is a clusterfuck from the very beginning. I'd asked everybody beforehand if they thought this was going to be bad. Everybody, oh man, yeah, we got this. It was a clusterfuck. You can't have a 6-person tag team being a tornado tag or a street fight or no disqualifications, what have you. Because they went all over the place. People didn't know where to look. It was already almost midnight. People were leaving. As soon as the match started, 7 or 8 people, when you walk out to the left, as Corey will know, as soon as you walk out, look to your left, they just got up and left. They were like, fuck it. We know we've had enough. People were fighting. Now, they beat the crap out of each other. But after this, after the event, it being midnight, by the time everything was over, like 12:05 or something, the main event was shortened in time because everybody, of course, was ready to go home by then. So the main event wasn't that long. And on top of that, Tasha, you'll love this, and Corey was there for this, people started marking out. There were people coming up and begging for autographs, people coming out of the stands that were, quote-unquote, in the business. All of a sudden, it's like these people became little kids.
They became big.
I thought we were professional wrestlers. I thought we were professionals. I thought that we all should be considered, well, not all of us, but most of us should be considered on their same, I understand they paved the way for us, but show some fucking decency. Don't go up and start taking 500 pictures with these guys that they didn't even work. You worked. You busted your ass in the ring, but yet these guys, you're going to go mark up for them. I had a huge problem with this, and I let everybody know about it. I'm going to go around the Tasha. What do you think about this? What do you think about a 45-minute speech before a main event? The main event gets cut literally in half on time, and it's after midnight before the event's ever over. And then guys start marking out to 2 guys that didn't even work.
Well, I'm going to say this: good for Jake for being clean. It shocks me, but good for him. I'll say that. That being said, nobody has ever disrespected him when he's working, and I think that if you're going to waste your time running your mouth when you're just getting paid to make an appearance, it's disrespecting the kids that are still busting their asses. However, if those kids are dumb enough, and I say dumb enough, to mark out for these guys, they deserve to be treated like marks.
Eddie, your thoughts?
Yes and no. Because here's the thing, from my perspective and my side of the coin, understanding the respect factor for the people who paved the way and the appreciation therein. I've always believed that life is a journey, not a destination. Thank you, Steven Tyler and Aerosmith. I agree with that philosophy. And I'm not personally afraid to, well, in some cases I am. In some cases I'm not afraid to go up and say, hey, can I get a picture made real quick? I don't call that marking out. I introduce myself. If they know who I am from what I've done in the show that night, they know that I'm a part of the show and don't always get a chance to do something like that. I mean, it's like, do I have Triple H's autograph here in the studio? Yes, I do.
Mark.
And your problem with that is Triple H is one of the best of all time. I don't mind, and probably one of the greatest in-ring performers, period. I don't have a problem asking him for his autograph.
Well, Diamond Dallas Page is one of my favorite of all time, and I had a huge problem asking for his autograph. That's where we're different. I've never asked for an autograph, and I fucking refuse to ask anybody for an autograph. I don't give a fuck who I've met a lot of names in this business being a fucking manager, and I would never in my entire fucking life ask for an autograph because that's fucked up. You might be cool with that. Not me. I could never. Diamond Dallas Page is one of the reasons why I got into this business. I absolutely 100% refused to do anything. And you know this. I've met Jerry Lawler. You met Jerry Lawler.
Yep.
I met Ric Flair. These guys that I've cheered on my entire life, and I absolutely refused. The only person I even thought about asking an autograph from was Elix Skipper. And that's because Elix was one of the first person was like, what are you talking about? Why are you sitting away from me? I'm not a superstar. Come over here. That's the only reason why I don't know. But,
look, Dutch Mantell is one of the reasons why I got into this business, plain and simple, because I feel Dutch Mantell was one of the best heels of all time, plain and simple. He sold it. It was beautifully done from start to finish. And when he was at the Southern Legends Fan Fest, did I have a picture made with him? Yes, I did. I have it hanging on the studio here at Beyond Ring, at the Full Range Entertainment Studios. Same thing with
here's the thing, being at a fan fest and getting your picture taken with somebody is a lot different than being in a locker room and asking them for an autograph or a picture.
Okay.
The minute you do that, you're a mark, period. Yep. You're either a mark or you're not.
Well, according to some people, I mark out for myself more than I do for anybody else.
There's nothing wrong. Listen, there's nothing wrong with putting yourself over once in a while.
That's right. Everybody here at this wrestling roundtable is goddamn fucking damn sure
guilty of that.
Before God, yes. But there's nothing wrong with that.
What the hell? But I admit it.
Yeah, of course.
I still mark out for the sport of professional wrestling, the world of professional wrestling, and I started, like I said, y'all know how long I've been around this business. Y'all know how long I've been in this business. I was a
28 years.
Actually, first match 1985, started training in 1984. And I was a fan of this business, a fan of back when I was single digit ages. So, you know, as a fan, I've earned my stripes. And as a person in this business, as a worker, I've earned my stripes.
And you also called one of Abraham Lincoln's matches.
Yes, I did, matter of fact. Him and that damn bear. I had no problem with that whatsoever.
But I did think it was funny whenever Corey got on this, because the first thing Corey's like, I'm working it. We both at the same time was like, you Eddie'd your way on! We both high-fived each other, Eddie, so it was great, though. We both high-fived each other and went on. So
I'm a shameless
true story.
Look, to all my friends and family who are listening right now, I will be I'm going to apologize to my
Eddie,
family.
Wait.
Wait.
We know you'll get on the show. There is nothing wrong with that.
I'm a shameless bastard, and I'll admit it.
Show, it's like, what happened? What happened, Eddie? You okay? You okay, man? Why didn't you?
I will openly admit the fact that I am a shameless bastard sometimes.
Hold on. Eddie had a guy at Peach State Wrestling. Eddie just come in, just do the main event, because the whole mentality with this was, hey, they're having this War Games event. We're going to bring Eddie on because God knows shoot finished at the time, and Beyond Ringside was fucking pumping the shit out of this War Games. So Eddie shows up to Peach State, and they're like, hey, well, why don't we have it do like the old WCW guys come on when Michael Buffer would come on? We'll have our regular guys come out and announce, and then we'll have another announcer come out and just kind of put a cap on it. Everybody was cool with it except for the one announcer, and this is a true story. My lightning strike me dead, and Eddie knows this. When this guy finds out that Eddie's just doing the main event, he flips out, goes out, starts drinking moonshine, and fondles an underage girl in the bathroom. Eddie.
Oh my God.
Eddie, did that not happen? And then we have cops looking everywhere for this guy.
Oh, God,
Eddie,
yes.
Did that not happen?
Yes, the police were looking for this guy, plain and simple, because they'd gotten reports about this guy and complaints about this guy. Because he had
this guy had went and got shit-faced drunk off moonshine because he was so upset that Eddie was calling the main event.
And this,
I swear to God.
Look, and when everything started breaking down, going to hell in a handbasket, it's like, look, I don't work for PWA. I was not getting paid by Shane Knowles to run the show that night. I was not getting paid by him to run audio or anything else. I was asked by Shane Knowles, if I would introduce the main event because of everything that Beyond Ringside and the network had done for the PWA trying to put that show over. And when he asked me about that, and I said, sure, I'd love to. I appreciate the opportunity. I mean, I was going to come over that way, and we were going to cut some interviews and cut some breaks for BR and the radio station at that point. But when he asked me about the we both talked about it, and it's like, sure, I'd love to. And lo and behold, this guy just decides to become a completely ubiquitous prick. And the fact of the matter is, I came to him, it's like, dude, do you want to take the mic and try to talk to these people? No, man, you got it.
Yep.
It's like, excuse me, you work here, I don't. I'm a guest. And I was cordial to this guy all night long. I did not have, it's like, I'm not a fucking superstar. There's your obligatory F-bomb for the week. I'm not a freaking superstar in this business. I'm an announcer. When I'm at my home promotion, I'm an announcer, I'm a commentator, and I'm a commissioner. When I go somewhere else, I'm nobody special. I'm the host of a damn radio show. Yeah, that's pretty freaking special and pretty damn awesome if you ask me, by the same token. Okay.
And you're nobody special here on Beyond Ringside either.
Yeah, and I own the freaking company.
But here's the thing though is it was just awkward how that guy started flipping out, and
it was
everybody
stupid.
was cool with it. And the talent. The main thing about it is the talent was like, hell yeah, now we're gonna have a voice, because you know how it is when you have a guy that goes in there. Eddie has this radio voice where he completely changes and goes into. This guy was one of those guys that's like making his way to the ring. The Oracle Ominous. No, motherfuckers, the Oracle of Ominous. I just told him at the end just to stop announcing me. But he was one of those guys. And then Eddie goes on there and the talent was like, yeah, cool. It was just complete fucking mayhem, and Eddie calls this guy to go drink some moonshine and finger bang some underage girl. Can you believe that?
Digital insertion.
Digitally penetrated.
So Eddie Lane is the reason why this guy snapped and some poor innocent victim got hurt.
Well, they said he got undressed in his street attire and went out and hung out in the audience, and then all hell broke loose,
Well, there were two philosophies in play that night. In my own quiet little way,
try to take over the world.
And this other guy was just completely and totally plain and simple.
Just quickly, going back to the whole, fan and being a fan thing. I'm not in the business. That's obvious. And I had the privilege this year of hanging out at the after party of the TNA England tour. And how many pictures do I have of that? Anybody? Wicked? None. How many pieces of paper do I have with signatures on them? Wicked?
None.
Exactly.
Okay, let me give you this
That makes me better than you. But my point is, this is my point. Buy my fucking comic book.
That's great. And before we move on to our second break of the evening, speaking of Jake the Snake Roberts, he was scheduled to appear at Heroes and Legends in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That has been canceled because he is double booked. He says it's a double booking error by his agent. Now, a personal friend of mine is hosting this. Taylor McKnight from Great Championship Wrestling has moved back to Indiana, and Heroes and Legends Fan Fest will also have the WWE Superband Downstate, who everybody knows does the music for Dolph Ziggler, Miz, and I believe Alex Riley.
It's down straight. Get it fucking right.
There's no R in it.
There's no R in it. It's downstate.
Now who's the fucking retard?
Hold it.
Wow.
Let me have some more crow. Fuck
wow. You sound like a complete fucking retard. I love it. But anyways, Bret the Hitman Hart will be there, and $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Tatanka will be in action. Oh my God. Their main
Didn't
event
Ric Flair
is going
to sorry to interrupt. Didn't Ric Flair have to pull out of that because apparently his girlfriend made the booking or some shit, and he's not going to make it, or wasn't aware that he was supposed to be there or something?
I think he was unaware he was supposed to be there, is what that was supposed to be. But Sugar Dunkerton, friend of the show, will be at Roderick Street, Jake Omen, and Sugar Dunkerton. But here's what I wanted to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Their main event, really quick. JT Vega, Bobby Steele, Karn Alexander, Darrell Jackson, and that guy, PJB, versus Team Legends. Demolition Axe, Demolition Smash, Superstar Jimmy Snuka, and two unnamed legends DiBiase said will be named soon. I think that's where Flair was supposed to be a part of. But also, Coco Beware will be there, Ron Simmons, Grandmaster Sex, Brian, Christopher.
Will Gorgeous Glenn Dent be there too?
Virgil, Congo Kong, Gregory Iron, and I think that's about it.
Who's bringing the party favors?
The party. Oh my God!
Who's
I wish
bringing
Brian
the
Christopher.
Who's
I
bringing
wish
the
we still
weed?
had that clip. Eddie, you missed out on that one. That was funny stuff. We're about to take our second break of the evening, and ladies and gentlemen,
Hold on a second. Hold on. I gotta do. Y'all got me on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Play, you son of a.
Hello, ladies.
Oh yeah, rubbing me raw.
Yeah, rubbing me raw with Ted Guinness. Yeah.
You know, ladies,
Y'all are some sick bastards. You know this?
Benson have a lot in common. We both come once a week.
And when he talks about digitally penetrating her, he means with the whole fucking VCR, ladies. Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, this is Ted Guinness for BeyondRingside.com, and here is what's rubbing me raw with this past Monday's Monday Night Raw. Well, we're just under 20 days away from WrestleMania, and what better way to build up the once-in-a-lifetime, again, main event between John Cena and The Rock than by having the two meet face-to-face with each other in the ring talking trash, or maybe just even, having the WWE Champion show up. Yeah, I get the whole bring in The Rock to help build buy rates and create interest in WrestleMania concept, but this is WrestleMania. Those 12 letters alone create interest. The fact that they need to bring in The Rock to face Hulk Cena or John Hogan just speaks to the incompetence of the office to build stars. Dolph Ziggler, anyone? However, there were two bright spots with Cena opening the show this week. His shirt and the fact that Pittsburgh pretty much booed the hell out of him. At least Titus O'Pancake got it right when he said no one wants to see John Cena at WrestleMania. But I will say this for Cena, at least he shows up week in, week out, and actually steps in the ring to do the 5 moves of doom. I hate the whole previously on Raw thing that they've been doing to start the show. Whatever happened to running the show open with the music and the pyro and then going to the announcers to build the show? We all know King and Cole have lost their luster, but that just makes the show seem like a bad primetime show on network television. Maybe it's time to look at new blood behind the announce desk on Monday nights. I know Fast Eddie Lane has his Monday nights free. Speaking of openings, this whole Tonight is the Night theme song they're using is actually kind of making me want the whole Nickelback theme. And I think that's a crime in 38 states. I do like the fact that they booked David Otunga on the show to get beaten up by Ryback. The bad part of that segment was they gave Ryback a mic. But now we have Ryback and Mark Henry for WrestleMania, which screams bathroom break. Which, of course, when you're sitting through a 4.5-hour pay-per-view, is always a good thing. How dead was the crowd for Fandango? I mean, let's be honest. Johnny Curtis must have really pissed someone off to get stuck with that gimmick. What would have really been funny is if Khali and Natalya had come out with those little paper bag characters from the Fandango commercials on their hands. Actually, no, it wouldn't, but at this point, anything would have been more entertaining than to sit through this garbage. I will, though, have to say that Chris Jericho, once again, was gold. The whole dang insert rhyme here dialogue was just absolutely golden. And, of course, who didn't pop for the fact that he said, I need 2 tickets. I didn't get my movie tickets. Yeah, that character is going downhill real fast. I have 2 major problems with Damien Sandow. The first is not enough time for his matches because I think he's the most entertaining performer to come into WWE in years, and second is Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler talking during his match. If Alberto Del Rio can have his own personal ring announcer, why can't Damien have his own personal announce team? The pointless banter between Cole and Lawler completely detracts from his matches, and let's face it, wouldn't it just elevate Sandow into an even bigger heel if he had a team extolling his virtues using grandiose vocabulary? Alright, let me just say this. Undertaker Punk is going to steal WrestleMania. No one in the WWE could get away with the blatant disrespectful nature of CM Punk that he has been displaying over the past couple of weeks, and especially Monday night. I knew Punk at some point was going to drop the urn during his promo, and he didn't disappoint. Although the match hasn't had much time to build, this is the match that would cause me to drop $70 on the high-def pay-per-view. Because win or lose, this is, to me, the match that is going to solidify CM Punk in the main event of WrestleMania 30. Epico and Primo had about as much chance to win that match against Team Hell No as Oakland A's outfielder Josh Reddick has of beating Daniel Bryan and their beard off. My only question is, why are they both ducking former San Francisco Giant closer Brian Wilson? Maybe the Machine could answer that, and no, I'm not talking about Kane. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up on YouTube. On a side note, AJ is welcome on my TV anytime. Could this be the quick shot to set up Dolph Ziggler and Biggie Langston versus Hell No at WrestleMania? Well, apparently the answer is yes, because after Dolph Ziggler won his match against Kofi Kingston, the match is made. Team Hell No versus Team Ziggy and Biggie, and as soon as I thought of it, Jerry Lawler stole it. Yeah, it figures. Del Rio and Rhodes was a pretty good match. I'm glad that there was actually a clean finish before Swagger hit the ring. I thought it was interesting that a good portion of the Pittsburgh audience was chanting USA after the beatdown. Is that a sign that Puff the Magic Swagger's Patriot Act is starting to get over? We'll see. So now it looks like the Big Show is going to be joining Sheamus and Orton versus The Shield at WrestleMania, which was pretty obvious. My only fear is that WWE is going to follow their pattern of bringing up young stars only to bury them on a big stage. If this match is booked correctly, and I'm not holding my breath on this, The Shield will prevail and continue to be a factor over the course of 2013. Otherwise, it'll just be three guys with massive potential that will end up being put on the back burner like usual. So now we have the final stipulations: Brock Lesnar versus Triple H, with Triple H's career on the line in a no DQ, no holds barred, no stoppage for anything match at WrestleMania. We all know how this is going to turn out because basically Triple H has nothing left to prove, and he's more interested in running the company than performing for it, which I actually think, at this stage of the game, is a pretty darn good idea. I'd like to hear what you think about Monday Night Raw. You can email your comments to rubbingmeraw@gmail.com, and if I like what you have to say, I might even use it next week. For BeyondRingside.com, I'm Ted Guinness. That's what's rubbing me raw. I need to go find some lotion.
Meow!
Look, bitch.
Oh wow,
And
man.
of course,
Eddie, you're
the
fucking
Stupid Determined Show. No, the Stupid Determined Show. It's time for the Smarts Rage, the Internet Darling. Corey, what are you raging about this week?
Well, I thought after eating all that crow Saturday night and eating it the rest of the week, I don't really I was wrong about Jake Roberts. The guy's a changed man. I don't know about Scott Hall. I didn't see Scott Hall. The fans seem to have raised $80,000 for the man. Tasha, I'm going to kick this back over to you. Now, last week I had some pretty disparaging things to say about mainly Scott Hall, okay? There was a little Jake Roberts stuff in there. Now, I said, and I wish we had the audio, but I'm too lazy to pull it. Basically what I said was...
That's what she said.
That's not the first time you've said that.
What I said was, how dare DDP and the Scott Hall's handlers beg the internet wrestling fans to pay for his hip surgery when he has friends who are millionaires that are still in this business, that I wasn't going to give a dime. What do you think? And it pissed me off. Here's a guy that has made millions of dollars, umpteen millions of dollars is what I'm guessing, was at the height of his career in WCW with the NWO, is still making money off of NWO merchandise, the new NWO DVD that's come out. Why should his drug addiction and alcohol abuse fall back on the fans when he has got friends like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash? These guys are his so-called best friends. How come his best friends? You hear this word, and I've been around independent wrestling for the past 3 years, and you hear that word thrown around a lot. Oh, this guy's my best friend. I would do anything. He's my best friend in the business. Well, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, what Kevin Nash has done for Scott Hall. I'm sure it's been everything he could do. But why don't his millionaire friends give him the $80,000? Why should it be on the fans? I want to hear your opinion.
You want me to tell you why? Because they're smart enough to hustle it out of the fans.
Yep.
This is my opinion. Now, I'm going to be a little more hardcore than you are. Fuck his friends. He let wrestling take hold of him, regardless of how much the drugs were there, regardless of how much the alcohol was there. He's the one who made the choice to use it. He's the one who made the choice to drink it. Corey, I know that you do the bail bonds gig, so you're going to understand what I'm talking about. I deal with the interlock systems daily. I do not feel sorry for these people. They made the choice to get behind the wheel and drink and drive. I drink like a fish. Wicked and Eddie have been in a bar and seen me do it. I don't drive that way, but I also haven't effed my life up. I have a job. I have kids to support, and I make the adult decision to drink on Fridays and Saturdays, or Fridays, or sometimes not at all, and then I take my butt home, or I take my butt to work the next day, because that's what a grown-up does. Scott Hall made a lot of money. He pissed it away by his choice. His choice. So if he really wants to get clean, because it doesn't sound to me like Scott wants to get clean, it sounds like his friends want him to get clean. If Scott wants to get clean, Scott needs to do it on his own. That's how I feel about it. I don't give a damn who that pisses off.
Well, exactly. You know, you can't change an addict unless they're ready to be changed. Now, something that I failed to mention last week, if you donated money, there's certain denominations you would get a T-shirt, or you get an autograph, you get a phone call. But I mean, like I said, why should that fall back on me? You know, I bought the NWO merchandise. I bought the pay-per-views. He was getting money on all of that. He's got a mansion. Sell your mansion. And it just bothers me that every time something goes wrong in the wrestling business, and this guy needs this and this guy needs this, it should fall back on the fans. And the fans are foolish enough to fall for it.
Hang on a second. Let me go ahead and give you one to remember, and I'm going to make this a two-parter real quick, Corey. Number one, P.T. Barnum said it beautifully. There's one born every minute. Number two, when you are in a dire circumstance, you utilize every possible venue. Now, you're talking about somebody who has been to rehab how many times? How many times has Vince McMahon helped him by covering the cost of his rehab? How many times have his friends come up to the plate and helped cover the cost of his rehab? There comes a point in time where that lifeline is exhausted, Regis. Guess what? You've already phoned a friend. You've asked and now you're asking the audience. And they're also going for the 50-50 at the same time. Final answer. You use there's your keyword. Use every possible venue in order to achieve your goal and find the ways to the ends to your means. Now, you have people out there, once again, there's one born every minute. They feel that they're making a positive contribution to the situation by helping him with the cost of his hip replacement surgery. I understand being a good-hearted person. I'm the one who, when I walk out of a store, if there's a panhandler there and they genuinely look and seem the part, and yeah, everybody, I get played to. Man, you got $1 I can have? No, but I'll go in and buy you a drink. No, I'll go in and buy you a pack of cigarettes. I won't give you the money. I'll buy you what you say you're wanting to get, because I'm that type of person. If I think you're going to go in and buy a 12-pack of beer, guess what? You ain't going to get it.
Hey, Eddie, could you buy me a soundboard?
Come to Alabama. I'll take you to Guitar Center.
Yay!
We can talk to a good friend of mine up there. Matter of fact, no problem. I've got about 8 or 9 good friends, including the general manager. So I'll get you a discount. Just come to Birmingham.
No, I don't want a discount. I want you to pay for everything.
We'll work on that. Wicked.
So, Corey, Corey, you're saying your rage this week is about you eating crow?
Pretty much. I mean, eating crow on the Jake the Snake Roberts part. The guy's clean and sober. I saw firsthand. I spent 5 hours I spent 3 hours with the guy, and talked to him. We talked about wrestling, talked about life, talked about his recovery. It's.
Well, just like Tasha said, I mean, if they're working the fans and it's working, who cares? People are going to pay for it. They paid for Scott Hall's stuff. Hell, they raised over $3 million for a Veronica Mars movie on Kickstarter. So
Yep.
there you go.
And
so
what was it? Nigel McGuinness went to Kickstarter. He needed $50,000 and he had the movie. He had the money inside of 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, but that's Nigel McGuinness isn't a drug addict. He's not wrestling because he contracted a hepatitis
B,
and
is reportedly once again reportedly cured.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Let's don't get fucking sued.
So I would say the same thing. If he was on drugs and doing this, or if Tasha was like this, or Wicked, or you, I mean, it shouldn't be on my back. Maybe I'm just jaded. The world that I live in, I see all this shit.
It's on your
The
back.
only thing I've taken away from that is that he'll pay for me if I get drugged up.
Well, yeah, because you're my buddy, right? Exactly.
And if you actually take a drink, I'll be impressed.
Lord have mercy. So,
I guess that's it. That's my time. That's my rage.
I guess so. Tasha.
Wait, he didn't hang up. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Stuck with him.
Tasha.
Yeah.
We'd like to ask you, would you like to give us your segment for this week?
Oh, I thought Wicked was about to say, Tasha, would you tell us what rubs you raw?
Oh, Ted Guinness. Ted Guinness will never do that. But ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, it's everyone's favorite segment and what makes the NWA scared so much.
Cringe.
Cringe. It is. You need a Sinestro core ring as much fear as you install. Tasha Simone's segment. Tasha knows best. Tasha, what do you know best this week?
This is going to be a really, really interesting segment this week because I'm going to talk about the announcement that I made a few weeks ago. And a lot of people misunderstood it. And I did say I was stepping away. I was hanging up the boots. I never said retire, though. I said I was stepping away. I have not even so much as managed. And since we had that last to be determined show that I was on. But I'm going to tell y'all, I preach all the time. The fans hear me preach this all the time. We're family, we're friends. After I made that announcement, I just want to say, I say this about benefits a lot, but by God, I love my wrestling family. I love my wrestling family. I'm so blessed to have them. Had somebody contact me and just pretty much, well, there was no pretty much to it, said, fuck that noise, you're not quitting. If you quit on your own terms. You don't quit because you're supporting somebody else's bullshit. You don't quit because you feel sorry for somebody else. And you damn sure don't quit because somebody wants to get their dick in a twist and start bullshit drama in the locker room. You know what? They're right. Chris Adams and Eric Embry broke me into this business. So I want all of these little panty-laced motherfuckers to listen up. Blonde-headed Tasha's not here. There's no brown hair anymore. This is red-headed Tasha effing Simone. Forget the fucking NWA bullshit. And yes, I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs because I've been really irritated and needed to get this out for a while. Forget the NWA, forget the AWA, or any other letters you want to throw out right now. I'm a professional wrestler. And if you want to see a women's professional wrestling match, promoters listen up, after April the 27th, which is when I am stepping back in the ring against Tiffany Rocks in Blue Ridge, Georgia, to raise money for Miss Joyce Grable, who was also a World Women's Wrestling Champion for the NWA, because she has leukemia. That will be my night back, and it will be a wonderful night back. And after that night, you want to book me? Book me. You put me in the ring with a piece of shit, I'm going to beat her ass and hand her what's left of it when we get back to the locker room. You put me in the locker room with a bunch of disrespectful pieces of shit, I'm going to throw their shit out. Because guess what, peeps? Tasha Simone is back, and she's got a really, really nasty attitude. And you can thank all of my really wonderful, wonderful wrestling family for reminding me who I am and why I'm here. It's all about respect and integrity. And there's not any three letters in the world that can give you respect and integrity. You have to carry that with you every single day. And I remember what's on the marquee: professional wrestling. And that's what Tasha knows best tonight.
So it's official right here. Once again, breaking news. Tasha Simone back in the ring April 27th for, what is it, the Joyce Gable is it an event for her specifically?
It is. I've actually posted on Facebook. Hang on just a minute. Let me see if I can.
While you're looking for that, Eddie, do you have something to say to Tasha, you smartass?
Yeah, easily. Little interpretation that I took away when you said hanging up the boots was the fact that you were retiring. And since you have clarified that, I stand corrected. So, Matt,
No, it's okay.
Matthew,
I think
me.
everybody took it as you were retiring.
Aww.
It's called
What a
grappling.
great heat.
So, Matt, Tasha, do me a favor. Matt, from me to you. Okay.
It's called Grappling for Grable. It's Saturday, April 27th at the Fannin County High School. For people that are close to Blue Ridge, Georgia, that's actually located at 360 Rebel Circle. The bell time is going to be 7 o'clock. And I'm not sure who all is on the card, but I do know that there will be at least 3 generations of NWA Women's World Champions there, including Joyce Grable and Miss Sue Green, and myself and Tiffany Rocks.
That is going to be a hell of an event. Tonight, I want to ask you something really quick.
Real quick, I may have to make it my business to go see that show.
You better fucking
I'll
take
have my
me,
team
fat
all-you-can-eat shirt with me.
Shit, you better fucking pick me up, you fat fuck.
Why the hostility? I saved you from after you got your ass beat by Johnny
Oh,
Swift.
whatever. I will never hear. Oh my fucking god!
There's a picture.
I should have never in my life. I should have never in my life been like, Corey, come here.
You needed me. Saturday night, you needed me.
I will never live that down.
Don't ever forget that.
You fucking Mark. Shut up. God damn. You fucking make me sick sometimes. But anyways, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, this is going to be something because I want to ask you really quick before we go to our next break. Tonight there was a documentary on the Logo Network about Glow. Old school women's wrestling for those that really know. Your thoughts on that?
There was.
Yes, ma'am. But tonight was the premiere for it. It was a documentary on Glow itself, on the Logo Network, which I believe is a gay and lesbian network, but that's okay.
It is. I never had any respect for Glow.
Oh, I know you and I have talked. We never talked about this on air, but I didn't know you were going to. No respect for them.
I have absolutely no respect for Glow. You know what Glow was? Glow set up, and a lot of people don't even realize this. Jackie Stallone set the groundwork for what Vince McMahon did to professional wrestling. She made it a cartoon first. And I dare anybody to go back and watch that bullshit and then look at the WWE now and tell me I'm wrong.
But Ivory, one of the best women's wrestlers, came from Glow, and look at the career she had.
Who?
Ivory. And actually, I'll go you one better. Corey, I'll go you one better. Before she was Ivory, she was Tina Ferrari of the tag team of Tina and Ashley on Glow.
Yes, I couldn't think of that name.
You know what the majority of the girls from Glow do now? They do private sessions.
How much that cost? You got a phone number on that?
Yeah, if you get that phone number.
Actually, you can look them up on the internet.
I've got most of them on Facebook right now on my personal page.
Well, maybe you could
You can actually look them up on the internet, and most of them charge about $500 an hour.
But Tasha, you and I have had this conversation before, and I guess we're going to go ahead and bring this to the forefront now. Tasha and I talk about women's wrestling all the fucking time. I mean, because she is my go-to on it. Tasha knows a little bit more about the women's side of wrestling than we all do, obviously. That side of women's wrestling was totally different than what Tasha was brought in by fucking Chris Adams, for God's sakes. Wrestling men being in a different type. This was really all of our first taste, excuse me, of what we all considered real women's wrestling at the time. And yes, it was a caricature of women's wrestling, more sports entertainment than anything, where you had the women dressed up as, prisoners, et cetera. We all know. But with that, excuse me, with that being said, it's, we can just kind of overlook it. But it was Jackie Stallone, who was Sylvester Stallone's mother, was a figurehead, owner, and manager, which I always thought was great, of the Good Girls. Of the Good Girls.
She was.
And then you had,
and I used to
Aunt
think
Kitty.
Stallone was
Aunt
really
Kitty.
punch drunk until I saw his mom, and then I realized it was just a family trait. They all went punch drunk.
Oh, Lord have mercy. One thing I always thought, and I don't know if this is true, Sarah Death Ray. Is that Sarah Del Rey? I've always wanted to ask that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I know it's not a complete dumbass. I really was never sure of that. So, but I know the documentary was completed sometime at the end of 2011, beginning of 2012, something like that, and it premiered tonight. So I wanted to get your thoughts on it. I didn't expect you to say what it was. I hate it. Fucking horse.
It's hard to ask me, and in a way, and you won't hear me say this very often, it's very unfair in a lot of ways to ask my attitude about women's wrestling. I was never taught that I was a female wrestler. And a lot of people don't understand that when they hear me going off. I trained with men. I wrestled men for the first 2 years I was in the business. I never touched a woman. So I don't have the same mindset that a lot of women do. I'm just a wrestler. I don't want to be looked at in the ring and say, oh, that's a sexy outfit she's wearing. Who gives a damn? I want people to look at me and say, oh, my God, she just beat the shit out of that person. Oh, my God, did you see that hold she put on them? That must have broke their damn arm. That's how I want people to look at me. If they want to look at somebody else and say, she is the sexiest woman I've ever seen in my life, good for that person. That is not how I choose to be defined. That's why I have the attitude about professional women's wrestling I do. I will say this. Kid Cash, who is a friend of mine, who I respect, and that's something that I don't throw that word out loosely, and you know that. Kid Cash introduced me to his agent from the UK last week and gave me one of the biggest compliments that nobody will understand, but maybe this very group of people right here. When he introduced me to the young man, he said, I want you to know I hate women's wrestling. This came out of Kid Cash, his mouth. I hate women's wrestling. He said, but when Tasha gets in the ring, I watch her matches.
Should have told him, what a coincidence. Me too.
In the ring, he said, when Tasha gets in the ring, I know she's going to wrestle. And then I looked at his agent and I said, the funny thing is, I hate women's wrestling too. For a lot of people, they would have been insulted. A lot of women in the business would have been insulted by what he said. I was complimented because I have a lot of respect for David Cash, not just as a professional wrestler, but as my friend. But he's always been honest with me.
I think a lot of us also, Tasha, also think that you might have a penis. So
I do occasionally, and I can go right down to the lion's den and get them any color, any size, or any shape I want.
Hello. Balls.
Hey yo.
This is the to be determined show. Rating to be determined.
One thing I will say about Glow, a story that I heard, Mondo Guerrero making a woman cry in their casting. I always thought that was great. Because, of course, them using dancers and damn near strippers and models, they said that one of the ladies wasn't taken too seriously, and Mondo made her cry. So, there you go. Let that be a lesson to you all. We're going to take our last break of the evening. When we come back, It is the take it home portion, or as we might start calling it, the last word. When we come back, right here, Beyond Ringside Radio Network, the To Be Determined Show.
You wanted an intro there already? My bad.
We actually have a statement from Empire Pro Wrestling on what has happened on the scandal. It says, in the last 48 hours, Empire Wrestling Entertainment has been rocked by scandal. JC Kent is no longer a part of Empire Wrestling. Empire Wrestling is and always will be family entertainment. We promote an environment where families can feel safe and enjoy great show aimed towards all ages. Although this is a dark day in Empire's existence, it will by no means be our defining moment. Thank you to all who have supported us.
And supported him.
That was pretty profound. I mean, they come right out, and even though they didn't say what happened, at least they took the time to immediately go out and let everyone know that JC Kent was no longer a part of Empire Wrestling. But this is the last word, the Take It Home edition of the To Be Determined show. So, Eddie, you had something to say, sir, and go ahead with your last round, please.
Okay, let's run multiple topics, light speed. Number one, Tasha, I take umbrage with something that you said in the previous segment, because deep down inside, every woman wants to feel in her heart that she is being appreciated, whether it be for her beauty as much as her talent, because I've seen some of the pictures that have been up on Facebook, and damn, you're hot in that two-piece. Not to mention the ring entrance that you did. Now, we continue on from there. Glow was not a mockery of women's wrestling. Glow was a mockery of professional wrestling that just happened to use women. It was nothing more than mindless T&A, plain and simple, and I had to make sure that the ampersand was properly pronounced. That way nobody thought I was knocking, once again, that Thursday night product on Spike TV, which I'm just really irked at sometimes.
Or Test Albert and Trish.
Where's my cricket sound effects when I need it?
Let's just say it was the beginning of sports entertainment, plain and simple.
We can go there. Now, I'm also going to go ahead and there's one other thing that I really want to hit. The fact of the matter is, on Twitter, yes, the war of the words has been coming up from a certain mixed martial arts fighter. And he was even making a comment about the idea about how about Vince McMahon with CM Punk versus Dana White and Chael Sonnen. Well, guess what? I'm going to ask one question. Will Mr. Sonnen submit to a drug test before the fucking fight takes place? If he's willing to do that, I think that might be a beautiful thing, because a lot of people remember during the run that he had with Anderson Silva, he was juicing, plain and simple. He got caught, he got busted, he got suspended. He got time off without pay. So the one person in the mixed martial arts community who really doesn't need to shoot his effing mouth off is yet shooting his mouth off. Now, we take this to, yes?
Wasn't it the whole deal was that he didn't provide the prescription in time and then later provided the prescription that was needed?
Okay, we'll go there. But he still got popped.
He still got popped, but he had a legitimate reason for doing so.
And there was something else involved that I won't talk about right now. Meanwhile, back at the, allegedly. But from that vantage point, the UFC and mixed martial arts, over the last few years, and I've made this comment on Beyond Ringside Live Sunday nights, mixed martial arts is effectively kicking the living crap out of boxing, because everybody's tired of seeing the same tired old fighters going at it, and they know that the match of the fucking millennium, pardon my language again, there he goes, that's 3 in one night, Mayweather-Pacquiao is not going to take place. And the luster is gone. So boxing fans are coming back to pro wrestling and to mixed martial arts. Pro wrestling is getting its tail kicked because, let's see, certain individuals like Shane McMahon are providing pointers and consulting for certain mixed martial arts companies. Dana White is intelligent enough to try to bring in people who know how to work a microphone and build heat. Case point scenario, Josh Koscheck versus GSP a while back. And yet, when that fight's over with, the wall comes down because GSP says he's just doing what it takes to sell tickets and get people to buy the pay-per-view. Ooh, damn, wall broken. That ain't
That's
a
why we do roids. Oh, that's why they do roids.
There you go. But from that vantage point, looking at the overall picture, if Sonnen wants to go ahead and try to apply for a job with WWE, which basically that's what he's showing that he wants to do, because most of the time when you've got an athlete who starts mouthing off about a particular company, that means they either are trying to get the attention of the front office or they're pissed because they didn't get a return phone call from that front office. I'm going to expound on something I said a couple of weeks ago. I agree with the comments that were made by someone else that I copied over onto my Facebook page and expounded on. If everybody wants to slam WWE so frickin' bad, all us so-called wrestlers and workers and people in the business drink, if everybody wants to slam WWE and TNA that bad, why do so many people want to go work for him and make Vince's money? If it's that damn bad, don't even think about it. Be happy where you're at. End of discussion.
Zack Ryder, take some fucking notes.
Matt didn't. Take it home, sir.
Take it home. Well, I am home, so that was first.
That's what she said.
You know what? I'm just glad to have Tasha back. That's all I have to say. Oh, actually, second thing is, fuck Smart Rage, but you all knew that anyway.
My swimming partner.
Corey. Last call, sir.
Well, glad to have Tasha back. Glad to have Tasha back. Always love the interaction. Love hearing her wisdom on the wrestling business. Chris Masters saved his mama's life. Great thing. Empire Pro stepping up, issuing a statement on what happened. That's always a good thing. Hopefully it won't be a black eye in that company. I've been to a few of their shows. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys didn't hear, I saved Wicked Nemesis' life Saturday night. I saved it, and there's picture evidence. Facebook.com/Smark Rage. I'll add you to my friends list. You come check the picture out.
How about no?
How about no? Hey, don't forget to get the RVD comic, which our man Matt Denton had a big hand in. So,
yay!
Let's not forget that. Yes.
Hold on.
See, while we were gone, Matt didn't even help write the comic. Tasha.
RobVanDam.com/twisted perception.
My last word is, I'm so glad to be back. I've missed everybody, but I tell Matt like almost all the time I miss him. And you have Heat, Eddie, and Wicked because I tried to check on my Alabama crew, and the only person who told me they were okay after the storm was Mabo.
And he was naked when he did it too.
I bet
Naked
he was.
Mabo.
I bet he was. But I am really glad to be back because I just missed Matt being such a mean ass to Corey because it's just so great. Sorry, Corey. But I do.
Hashtag Naked Mabo.
Mother goose.
All I can say, Tasha, is you better have that sandwich for me at George Scrabble's show, or else.
Wicked, do you know the story behind Naked Mabo?
No.
We're holding a vote started this past Sunday on BR Live. We're going all the way through the start of the show this coming Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, and we're giving everybody an opportunity to vote whether or not they want Mabo to do the show in the nude. If they vote yes, he will tweet a naked picture of himself at the start of the show.
Glad you had that one ready.
Right. So, with that being said, Tasha, when is the event for the Joyce Grable again? The 27th of April?
April 27th. It's in Blue Ridge, Georgia. It's going to be like honestly, just Sue Green alone being on that card in wrestling gear is worth going.
Now,
and I am saying that as a professional wrestler, that as much as I hate to admit this, is also a woman. Sue is one of the women that refused to sell out to Vince McMahon. And I am saying that as a professional wrestler, that as much as I hate to admit this, is also a woman. Sue is one of the women that refused to sell out to Vince McMahon. And I am saying that as a professional wrestler, that as much as I hate to admit this, is also a woman. when she was asked to go up as Moolah and May did and do the sexy stuff, she refused. She has truly stood up for what she believed in and been a professional wrestler, no matter what.
Now, Eddie,
So just for her being there.
Tasha, how can everyone get in touch with you? Because for those that have missed out, your Twitter has changed. What is it now?
My Twitter is Tasha Simone now. My Gmail email, if anybody wants to contact me for bookings or whatever, just to say, hey, tell me I'm a bitch, that's okay too. Hate mail's always good. It's still Tasha Simone, NWA. I am a bitch, but I get paid damn good for it. See there? See how that works? That's right, buddy. And, of course, they can find me at Tasha Simone on Facebook.
And Fast Eddie Lane, there is an event this Friday for Global Championship Wrestling.
Global Championship Wrestling will be in Tryon, Georgia for the first time. It is going to be a benefit for Tryon City Schools. Come join a lot of the stars from Global Championship Wrestling, the Underground, and some of the local stars from in the immediate area this Friday night, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. local time kickoff. Tickets, I do believe, we're used to tickets being, I believe it was $10 each. I believe the tickets are actually going to be $7 each for this show. For this very special event. Hold on. Give me about 2 seconds, because I've actually, somebody actually sent me the
1, 2.
Shut up, Matt.
3, 4, 5.
Let me find.
Oh my God! There we go.
8,
Pain in the
9,
ass.
10,
Micah Taylor versus
12.
Mad Dog Dan Sawyer for the GCW Championship. Xander Stone versus Jake O'Hagan taking on Spiral. Frankie Valentine versus Justin Brown. Also, okay, I believe he's trying to say Rob Adonis and many, many more stars will be, and this is once again going to benefit Tryon City Schools. This Friday night, Tryon, Georgia, in Global Championship Wrestling. By the way, to everybody who's been in the chat room tonight, you guys rock. I love it. And if you saw the hashtag that I put in there, I think it was Livewire Unbranded that started that one for hashtag Believe in the Naked Maybo.
Oh, Lord.
You're welcome.
You said Rob Adonis is on that show? I thought he retired due to a back injury.
I believe it may have been a misprint, but the last name is Adonis, so unless there's a T.O. Adonis in there on that show, then I'm assuming it might be Rob. It may be T.O. Adonis, so I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't think it's Rob Adonis. But,
Okay.
we never know.
We never know.
Stranger things have happened. But I want to take the time while we still got a chance to wish a happy birthday to Greg Ragland of Shoot Finish Infamy. Congratulations to
Oh,
Greg.
wait, he's still a thing? Wow.
Still a thing? Oh my God, it's like his blog.
Let's get him a pack of strudel and send it to him ASAP.
Oh, that's so fucked up. But happy birthday to Greg Ragland, though, for real. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can bitch about wrestling all you want, but it doesn't matter and it doesn't mean anything if you don't go out and support it. Go out and support local independent wrestling. It's out there, folks. The future, the heart and soul of this business is right in your backyard. Somewhere within at least 30 miles, there's probably 42 wrestling events, especially if you live in Georgia.
Now let me
Because
stop.
God knows all of them are running Saturday night.
Let me stop you. Support good indie wrestling. Just don't support any indie wrestling. Support.
Oh, this is coming from a guy that would go on, what was it, Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, you would go and see some of the worst wrestling imaginable?
Hey, I get bored.
Easily. Wick, was that actually a cue?
No.
It
what are
was.
you talking about?
Well, actually, because case point scenario, I'm looking for NWA Fusion is going to be in King and Queen County, Virginia, this coming Saturday night, March 23rd at the King and Queen Elementary, 24467 The Trail. That's going to be a 6:30 p.m. bell time. The Pain Train, Preston Quinn, and the Soviet star Boris Dragoff will be on that show. NWA Arklatex is going to be in Gilmer, Texas, at the Gilmer Civic Center, 1925 Northwood Street. That is going to have a 7 p.m. bell time. Doors open at 6 o'clock p.m. this Saturday night. That's NWA ALT, NWA Arklatex. Also, High Velocity Wrestling this Saturday night in Hendersonville, North Carolina, at the Salvation Army, 239 3rd Avenue East. I do believe that is going to be an 8 p.m. bell time, and we've talked about it a little bit earlier. This weekend, Saturday, March 23rd, at the Lutheran Health Sports Center, 3869 Iceway, it is going to be in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the Heroes and Legends Convention. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Tatanka, Ted DiBiase, Demolition, Jake Roberts scheduled to be there, Jimmy Snuka, Bret the Hitman Hart, and a whole host of professional wrestling stars are going to be on this one this coming Saturday night in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Heroes and Legends. There's actually about 3 more, but I'm going to stop there.
Well, that was not the cue, but I'm glad you took it, sir.
Not a problem.
But for real, this past Saturday night was a prime example. There were 3 shows within, 32 miles of each other, I believe is what the exact specifications were.
I think
and
so.
You had all of these great people, but yet they were all spread out. Like, you couldn't go to PCW and make it to UIW and to Peach State that night.
That's actually not true. PCW had a 4 o'clock show because
yeah, but they also had an outside show, and for anybody that's been to an outside show, if you're working it and if you're in the stands, that drains a lot out of you.
Yes.
Shane Marks had a double shot. I hate that
God,
bastard.
yes, he did.
He had a double shot.
But
So he hates
that's
you
why
right
he's the
back too.
revelation. That's why he's the revelation, and we're not.
He's the revelation, but you can't name more than one fish. Motherfucker.
That was fun. Oh, I actually talked to Murder One about that. I let Murder One know that he still had the record, and he said, yeah, that's because he is down with fishing. He says he's a fisher since he was born. So, and he said he's ready to come back on any time and challenge anybody if anybody gets close to his record. And I told him nobody has come remotely close. So
I guess he likes fish sticks then.
Hey.
He's not Kanye West.
But
But we appreciate
fisherman.
Yeah, M1 has talent.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor to have Tasha back, and for Tasha to reiterate, she is coming back to the ring. She's lacing them up again. So all the retirement talk was just that, just talk. So, we all thought you were retired. No, that's not how it works.
She
this
faked
is like
it.
an alternate reality. This is the new 52. This is like DC rebooting everything. So
No,
that's
she's a
okay.
woman. She faked it.
Smart Rage making an age joke.
Oh God, Lord have mercy. But ladies and gentlemen, hey, Corey, your last call. What do you want to say right here before we get off?
Yeah, I was making an age joke, but Jesus, if y'all didn't see that bikini picture of her, Jesus, find me on Facebook, The Smarks Rage. Find me on Twitter, @SmarksRage. And once again, in case you guys are just tuning in,
He fucked up his own Twitter handle.
the Wicked Nemesis needed my help Saturday night. There's a picture of it.
You need help in reading off your Twitter handle. Jesus.
It's
Smart
Smart
Rage,
Rage,
not
not
Smart
Smarks Rage.
Oh, it's something. Find me on Twitter.
How about now?
Damn it, I just shut the applause button down. Mother goose.
Matt Denton.
You can find me on Twitter @Woods from Prism. Yes, I got that right, just in case Smart Rage decides to go try and follow me again, because he keeps on going, unfollow, follow, unfollow, follow. It's like a fucking game of hopscotch or some shit like that. Anyway, find me on Facebook, FromPrism.com, buy my comic book, and hashtag support the naked neighbor.
Support the local Mabel. Lord have mercy. Tasha Simone. Your last thoughts, ma'am. How can everyone get in touch with you?
Well, everybody knows my new Twitter handle is @TashaSimone. Check me out. I'm just as flamboyant and opinionated as usual. A little bit happier lately, which is actually kind of scary because the better mood that I'm in, the meaner I get. Just adopted a new pit bull, so anybody that has a big heart, go adopt a shelter dog. They need love too, and they're pretty badass. You can also find me on Facebook, and as I said, Tasha Simone, NWA @gmail.com is my email address. You need tights that are made by champion quality, contact me. You need a good women's professional wrestler, contact me. Just don't waste my time with bullshit people.
If you want a really shitty
Stop.
women's wrestler, go hire Casey Carlisle.
And if you want her to do customs wrestlings, you can book her at smarkrage@yahoo.com. She does
Find Smart.
She's going to...
show up. Please show up in Blue Ridge, Georgia. I will be the redhead in a big red team all-you-can-eat shirt, and I'm going to kick your ass.
We're going to find Smart Rage dead in his bed with like a cut across his throat or some shit in the morning.
That was too soon.
I'm going to speak to the hogs. They digest everything but the teeth.
And fingernails, don't forget that.
Rest in peace, Smart Rage. We hardly knew you.
Eddie, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir?
Before I do it, let me go ahead and hit this. Allie Doll, Awesome BM, Daryl B, Dave 805, Livewire Unbranded, to everybody, everybody who's been in the chat room this evening. God love you. To everybody who didn't take the time to make a freaking screen name, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. Let us know who the hell you are. Quick, type your name out and I might just read it. At Fast Eddie Lane, LAYNE, over on Twitter. Facebook.com/FastEddieLane is the fan page. Please drop over and click like. If you're trying to get me on the personal page, as Wicked Nemesis will probably say, F you. I don't get everybody on the personal page because that's what it is, my personal page. From that vantage point, FastEddieLane.com. And of course, be sure to keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com. Going to be coming back live, Beyond Ringside Live, this Sunday night, 5:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. By the way, this past Sunday, we had a great interview with Darren Corbin, professional wrestling star out of the Central States and the Great Lake States. Great Lake States. There we go. I'll get it right one of these days. Thank you, Matt. I think I've recognized the name coming to the chat room. Yeah, I see. Darren Corbin's interview will be going live immediately following the To Be Determined show. I hate you.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, next Wednesday, the To Be Determined show comes live right here again, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. You can get in touch with me at Wicked Nemesis on Twitter, Wicked Nemesis Enoch on YouTube, and of course, Wicked Nemesis on Facebook. There is an Unlucky Charms Facebook fan page, To Be Determined Facebook fan page, and a Merchants of Death Facebook fan page. Go out and support local independent wrestling. If you don't support it, I don't think you can bitch about it. For Fast Eddie Lane.
Until next we meet. By the way, believe in the naked Mabo. I'm just not looking.
Oh my God. For Smart Rage.
Book Tasha Simone for custom wrestling shoots. You will not be disappointed.
Hashtag believe in the naked Tasha.
For Matt Denton.
Support the naked Mabo. Hashtag.
For Tasha Simone.
Hashtag polka dot bikini.
Hashtag book the former NWA Women's Champion in custom wrestling matches. And get her to make the sandwich.
Hashtag hot dog, diggity dog.
Hashtag Corey's a fucking dead man.
That's no, this is a simple hashtag, and Matt's gonna love this one. Hashtag hunt. That's it.
Yes! Hashtag always bet on
Since
red.
Eddie wouldn't fucking say it. Cunt.
Ladies and gentlemen, the To Be Determined show. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you all for the support. Sunday night, 5:30 Central Standard Time, Beyond Ringside. And of course, welcome back, Tasha. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. This is Beyond Ringside Radio Network's own The To Be Determined show. Thank you.